Perk, how you doing, my man? Are you corona free?
I am, man. I'm just trying to stay upbeat, man. The NFL off season is a great diversion. That's what's taking up all my time right now.
I got to tell you, at first I didn't like the optics of it for the NFL, considering the country's about to go in the complete crapper, and so many people are going to lose jobs and businesses and a lot of money. I didn't want it, but then as it went on, it was like, you know what, we kind of need this diversion right now, and just a little bit of it because we can watch all day and it's Corona coverage on a consistent basis, or we got to go to Netflix and start watching all kinds of other things and get it going. But yeah, you know what? It ended up being a good thing for us to kind of get away a little bit and be able to talk some sports.
Yeah, I agree now. They were, I can't remember what the report date was, April 17th or something like that, but
Yeah.
obviously that's not going to happen. So
No.
the NFL will stop itself in due time. But, yeah, I agree with you, It's much needed right now. I'm enjoying it.
Yes, I'm with you, and I got to tell you, man, I really love what the Dolphins did. I give them an A minus. The only reason I went with minus, just because of Eric Flowers, where he had the one good year at guard, and I got to see it again and believe it after being so terrible at tackle. That's the only reason, and because I go to just an A minus, because that contract really isn't anything that's going to be crippling either. Even if he does fail, you can get out of it shortly, so it's not something that's really going to hurt this team on a long-term basis. So for me, it was an A minus. Where do you grade the Dolphins so far in free agency?
I've given them a B so far, and really, because to me, we don't know that they've answered the questions on the offensive line with Eric Flowers and Ted Karras. I mean, look, Flowers, as you said, has had one good year. Same thing with Ted Karras at center from New England. He's had one good year. He was a backup until David Andrews got ill, I believe, the blood clot situation earlier this year. So, they've done a good job. And I'll tell you this, also, the collection of defensive ends, I really like who they got when you're looking at these guys with Shaq Lawson and Kyle Van Noy, linebacker defensive end, Emmanuel Ogba primarily. But, these are not sack artists. These are guys who are part of a rotation
Right.
with the pass rush. What I do think that collectively those guys are better against the run than they are as pass rushers. So while you help your pass rush, I think the more significant thing was helping out that run defense. And look, we know defensive tackles and linebackers have more to do with that with the run stopping ability than defensive ends. But you did get some guys who can set the edge, starting with Shaq Lawson and Kyle Van Noy. So look, I don't think that very many of these guys that they obtained are long-term answers. Byron Jones better be, right? 5 years, $82.5 million. But the rest of them, probably 2 years, and that's okay. They're kind of transition guys, most of them. If Shaq Lawson and Eric Flowers work out, well, I believe we're both 25 years old. That's great. But I kind of view it more as a fill in the gaps and get this arrow pointing upward instead of going straight across. And I do think that is something that they have accomplished.
Oh, yeah, I'm with you. And the only thing I would disagree with you on the Ted Karras one, it's only $4 million. They're actually paying him backup money, actually, to be a starter. They actually, if he does become the starter, they end up getting an enormous bonus because they get a starter at $4 million, which is an absolute joke. Whereas with Flowers, that's $10 million. Okay, now I'm expecting you to start. I'm expecting you to get it done. With Karras, that tells me that they're drafting a center. That's what that tells me, dude. They're going to draft a guy. They must be targeting some kind of guard center in the draft or two that they like. There aren't a lot of them. So that's interesting to see where they're going to go with that. But that's what I kind of get the feel that a guard center is coming in the draft. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. Yeah, because they don't have answers right now. They have guys who, okay, if Karras works out, and like you said, Flowers $10 million, you expect that guy to start. It doesn't kill you if he doesn't financially, and really, I think that that's a good thing with all of these signings. Again, with the exception of Byron Jones, that Van Noy is not going to kill you financially, and Eric Flowers is not going to, and Shaq Lawson is not going to. They got some respectable amounts of money, but this isn't like signing Carlos Dancy or definitely not like signing Ndamukong Suh or even Mike Wallace. These are fairly low expectations, fairly low money, and if you're from the Dolphins standpoint, we'll see where these things go from here. Again, with the exception of Byron Jones.
And by the way, the top centers in this draft are all juniors. The top 4 centers in the draft are juniors. So you're actually, by getting a center, you're also gaining a year. And Cesar Ruiz is probably the top guy out of Michigan. And he's going to go where the Dolphins pick at 26. So that's where he's targeted. So if you see Miami pick a center, it could be in that 3rd pick in the 1st round or the early part of the 2nd round. You could see them if Ruiz is still there. If not, then there's a little bit of a drop-off after that because the Cushenberry kid could go to Miami also in the 2nd round from LSU. That could be the other guy.
Yep, and I like the Cushenberry kid. I really do. I remember seeing him at the Senior Bowl. Oh, speaking of the Senior Bowl, you might have been there when we were talking to Chris Perkins, and
yes.
Yeah, you were there.
Yes.
And I asked him about Daniel Kilgore, and I was saying, Kilgore seems to be an interesting case because he is really pro Flores, and he's a good team guy to have on there. And I asked, what do you think of Kilgore? And Greer said, well, he is a good guy, blah, blah, blah. We'll see what happens. I knew the odds were against him because of age and injury history, but he was really gung-ho about Flores and guys buying in, and he was one of the guys who said, about Minka, but everybody in general, if you don't want to be here, get your ass out of here. I thought that it would be interesting to see if there would be space for a guy like Kilgore. The fact that there isn't tells me that this is not a sympathy tour or a nostalgia tour. So,
right.
Sorry, Frank Gore. Sorry, Cam Wake, if either of you were thinking about coming back here. I think that, with every transaction, their point of view, what their eyes are fixed on becomes even more obvious. And clearly, coming into the offseason, you knew it was going to be youth and athleticism at a reasonable cost. But the Kilgore move really drives that home to me because, again, this was a great locker room guy. He really loved Flo. Flo loved him. Kilgore was a team captain. But you can't be 31, 32 years old and have an injury history. These guys are all business, and I do like that. It's kind of sad if you're nostalgic or if there's guys you like in that locker room. But I do think that they're focused firmly on the future, and there's really no room for nostalgia or he's a good guy or blah, blah, blah. Did he perform? Can he help us? And that's pretty much it.
There's a part of me that wants Cam Wake back for one last season, and he can be that 5th defensive end, and he can be like that veteran that they all go back to. But over the weekend, one of the things that I was thinking about, I was going, well, you know what? They actually did sign Lawson, and Van Noy can become that veteran in the locker room that's been there and done it, and you can ask him about pass rush and all of that. They really don't need Cam Wake because they've got a younger version of it that they can use, and that younger version in Van Noy knows Flo, knows his system. So not only is he going to give you great leadership, but then he'll also teach you the leadership through this system and what it requires. And so that's something that Cam can't do. So that's where, when you were talking about the nostalgia and all that, that's where it's probably going to hurt anybody like myself that would love to see Cam come back. Because I figure, if Charles Harris is going to be your last defensive end, Well, then I'd rather have Cam Wake be that guy, so at least he's the wisdom guy. You can use him on third downs, that kind of stuff. But with a Kyle Van Noy there, you don't really need a Cam Wake.
Correct. And look, I'm sure you know this. I was talking to Jerome Baker during training camp or early in the season, and blah blah blah. And he told me that when one of his first conversations with Flores told him, go get some film of Kyle Van Noy and watch what that guy does, because I want you to know the defense as well as he knew that defense in New England. And bam, Kyle Van Noy is here, which is no big surprise that Van Noy is here. But to get to your point, he is a guy who knows his defense, knows what's expected of him, and he is going to be that teacher on the field, that leader in the locker room that you spoke of. So that's those are even if Van Noy does not match the 6.5 sacks that he had last year, which was a career high, he has a clear purpose and clear role on this team under Flores.
Chris Perkins, of course, from The Athletic, joining us, talking a little Dolphins. Perk, what's your favorite move out of the free agents so far? Which is the move that you liked a lot for the player, the contract, whatever it was?
Byron Jones. And there's three reasons. Number one, the guy is a really good cornerback, and so that stands on its own. Number two, you kind of got an insurance policy in case Xavier's knees go bad. And number three, look, who knows what happens? Maybe you trade X. I didn't think they were going to trade Tunsil or Minka, but you still have a shutdown corner over there. And adding Byron Jones, even though I didn't see this coming at all, well, I really didn't. Adding Byron Jones, that's probably the single move that you could have made, aside from adding a franchise quarterback, that gives you really something to hang your hat on with this offense, right? Because running back is going to be running back by committee. You add a receiver or a tight end, well, you still need the quarterback to get the ball to him. Defensive tackles, how much impact can you make? We saw that with two linebackers. On and on it goes. But you already have one butt-kicking corner. You add another one, and now you've really got something to build that defense around. You've got a tangible strength on the team through one signing, and that's really what I like about that Jones signing, despite the money.
You mentioned it at the beginning of the interview that we were talking about the pass rushers. That's something that I like. They didn't go and break the bank for one guy, but what they did was they got a group of guys that they can go after you. And that, to me, was really, really important, that you're going to get a rotation of guys, keep them fresh, and they're also multiple. They can do different things. They can rush. They can drop back and cover. That's what I also like. They're good against the run, not just against the pass. That's also what I liked, is versatility and depth at a position that they desperately needed, which I believe they'll still maybe draft one more type of pass rusher, but overall they did a nice job of adding several guys to a desperate position of need.
Yeah, and then again, we can see with all these moves what their thinking is, and clearly a rotation of pass rushers is their big thing, as opposed to, I'm sure they've kicked the tires on Yannick Ngakoue up in Jacksonville and Davian Clowney. But, yeah, I think that they're thinking, look, whether they get somebody in the first round as a pass rusher or, do the tag and trade with Ngakoue or whatever, you're going to have a collection of bodies over there rushing the passer, and it's not just going to be Cam Wake and cross your fingers on Charles Harris or whatever, cross your fingers on what was our guy who went to Dallas last year?
Oh, Taco?
But then golly, and then he just signed a nice deal. But anyway, yeah.
Quinn, Robert Quinn.
Quinn, that's it, Robert Quinn, that's it. So yeah, so they've done a good job of as you say, building some depth, and it's not so one guy dependent. I would like to see them get that so-called alpha male or the dominant pass rusher, however you want to term it. I would still like to see him get somebody in the first round if that person is there. Don't push for it. But I do like what they've done overall in free agency, and the defensive end thing, zero problem with that. More power to them. You've got a stronger unit than you close the season with, which, let's face it, that's a very tough task. But you have improved the position.
No, I'm with you there. Chris Perkins, of course, from The Athletic, covers the Miami Dolphins on a daily basis when he can actually be there at the facility. Anyway, Perk, by the way, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing every day? How do you pass the time now?
I'll tell you, the thing for NFL writers is this doesn't rock our world too much because we be at home glued to the phone anyway because it's free agency. Now, I guess once it gets, a little deeper into free agency after this week, that's when you would kind of be able to get away from the phone a little bit. But so far, it has not been a huge professional change for me. I'll tell you the bigger thing, really, for me, and it's probably the case for a lot of people, is you're being forced, well, not forced, but really requested to stay inside. And even though a lot of times I don't have anywhere to go, that's the thing that bothers me. It's kind of like when your car is in the shop and it's not out there in front of the house, you feel kind of like a prisoner. But if it is out there, you feel, even if you have nowhere to go, it's like, well, at least I've got the option. I'm choosing to stay home. I don't have to stay home. That's really been the biggest thing with me. You don't have much of a choice. You were being requested, asked, forced to stay home, and that's been the biggest thing to me.
Yeah, no, I'm with you actually, but I've enjoyed it actually being with the family. It actually hasn't been a bad thing. All right, so number 5 now. After everything that's gone on in the last week here in free agency, what's your gut tell you at number 5? If Tua's there, are they taking Tua? If Herbert's there and not Tua, are they taking Herbert? If Tua and Herbert aren't there, are they going O-linemen? How are you viewing all of this?
My gut tells me it's Justin Herbert. My gut tells me that Tua is not going to be there, and that cost to the Dolphins of moving up to number 3, which is where you have to go safely, right? If you really wanted Tua, you would have to get up there for Detroit. I think that cost is just going to be too high for the Dolphins because of Tua's injury history, not because they don't like Tua. I think because of the medical red flag that Tua has. So I'm going to say Justin Herbert at number 5. Now, if Herbert and Tua are gone at number 5, I don't know.
What's your pick? What's your pick? What's your pick? If Tua and Herbert are gone at 5, what are you picking?
If Okuda is there, I'll take Okuda. It's really actually no. Wait a minute, you got Byron Jones. I would not do that. Scratch that. That's a very good question, though. I would look at the best pass rusher available. I wouldn't feel good taking a left tackle at that point. I don't think
you're going to take Brown. So then you're going to take Brown at defensive tackle.
Boy, I couldn't see taking a defensive tackle at number 5 when I've already got Wilkins and Godshaw, who, look, neither of them are on their way to the Pro Bowl anytime soon.
But, dude, you put Wilkins and Brown, and Godshaw's your third guy. Oh, my God. I mean, you put Wilkins and Brown. And remember, in a 3-4, Wilkins is your edge guy. So you have Brown as your nose. You would be crippling defenses and crushing pockets with those guys.
You know what?
It's not a bad. It's really not a bad draft pick, actually. Just because you got Godshaw.
I might. No, I got you. I might really take like a Jerry Jeudy. I might take a receiver because look,
wow,
I don't trust these. Well, I don't because I don't trust the.
Dude, I think that's smart on your part. I think that's a really smart move on your part, Jerry Jeudy. I can't argue with Jerry Jeudy. I can't argue with Tristan Wirfs. I can't argue with Brown. There's a lot of picks that make a lot of sense there at that point.
Wirfs, you would take Wirfs at 5, huh?
I love him.
Ooh,
I do.
Yeah, I wouldn't be crazy about that one. But they do have a lot of. You threw a phone at me. I'm expecting Herbert to be there. I've kind of touched on it when I've written that. You know, maybe he's not there, but I fully expect that he'll be there. I will say this: what I think is ridiculous, and what I wrote about today was the Dolphins getting their hands on Joe Burrow. I mean, I know that talk sparked up, and I think that you called it ridiculous in a tweet, but I haven't listened to the podcast. But wait, listen, I start right here that like if you're Cincinnati, what does it take to get that number one pick out of your hands? I mean, you're trading a franchise quarterback, or that's the potential that he has right now before he sets foot on the field. That's how you have to look at it.
That's why there's no shot.
And I flipped it around and I said, look, if you're the Dolphins and you have that pick, what would it require another team to give you to get rid of that pick? And that's kind of how you have to look at it too. Like I just think it's crazy. It's crazy.
I try to remind people of Pat Riley and the Heat. Pat Riley's trying to convince LeBron to stay and come back to Miami and don't go to Cleveland. LeBron mentions, I like that Shabazz Napier guy. Oh, you do? Okay, I'll draft him for you. Well, guess what? Joe Burrow met with Cincinnati and said, hey, you know that A.J. Green guy? You plan on keeping him, right? Because I want to play with him. Oh, sure, Joe, no problem. And they tagged his ass. Yeah. And poor A.J. Green now is stuck in Cincinnati. And why do you think they tagged his ass? Because everybody was talking crap about Cincinnati. It's a terrible place. Joe Burrow shouldn't go. So they meet with Joe Burrow, and they're like, well, wait a minute. No, we want to show people that we're not that. Oh, you like A.J.? We'll tag him. They went and spent money in free agency now. They actually spent money in free agency. Holy crap.
Right.
And that's because they're gonna draft Joe Burrow, because now that everybody was talking all that crap about them, they've gone out of their way and done the abnormal to them by spending money and going and tagging A.J. Green and all that. And let me tell you, that tag is risky. As injury prone as he's been, that's a very risky tag. Yet they did it. Why? Because of Joe Burrow, bro. They're drafting Joe Burrow. We have to stop with this mental masturbation. The Dolphins have no shot at Joe Burrow, period.
Boy, that's almost the headline on my column. That is almost the headline on my column, and I agree with you 100%.
I mean, it's just...
We don't even need to go any further with that topic. I agree with you 100%.
It's just so silly. We're just wasting time talking about that, man. Now, let me ask you, where are you on the Jordan Love front? Because if they go Brown, Okudah, Judy, whatever, at 5, let's just say, so they didn't get a quarterback, what are you doing at 18, Perk? Because I don't know if Love lasts till 18. So do you move up for Love instead? Do you stand pat and just wait? If he falls for you, yes. If not, you move on. Where do you stand with Jordan Love?
I would do Jordan Love. I would get him at number 18, but I don't think he's going to be there. But I would take him at 18. By the way, speaking of Jordan, I like the Jordan Howard signing. Remember, Ryan Fitzpatrick was the leading rusher with 243 yards. You had to do something, so that's good. Jordan Love, but yeah, and look, and if Jordan Love, I would be shocked and disappointed if they left the first round, the Dolphins, without a quarterback. But it's not necessarily a death sentence. Maybe Jacob Eason in the second round. I've heard that they're not crazy about Jake Fromm and his arm strength.
Yeah, I'm not either.
You've got to get somebody in the first 2 rounds, and I do think that they're going to end up with either Tua or Justin Herbert, most likely Justin Herbert of that duo. But okay with Jordan Love because you do have Ryan Fitzpatrick. I'm okay with, if Herbert is not there at 5, and let's just say Jordan Love is probably a top 12, top 13 pick. If he's not there at 18, I wouldn't trade up for Jordan Love. I'll put it to you like that.
I got you.
In my long little soliloquy here, I would not trade up for Love. If he's there at 18, that's fine. If not, and I didn't get Herbert and I didn't get Tua, I keep it moving and see who's there in the second round and what I can work with there.
All right, one more thing before I let you go. Chris Perkins from The Athletic joining us, talking a little Dolphins. You just mentioned Jordan Howard, and I'm with you. I freaking love the pickup because, again, I can see what they're doing. They got roles for people, and he's going to fill a role. But this also tells me that they will get one of those backs in the first couple of rounds. There's a couple of dynamic backs that you can get, specifically in the latter part of the first round and second rounds. 3-4 guys that are going to go in that area. I think Miami ends up with one of those guys because that would be the perfect plan to team him up with Howard. Get the guy that you can put in the backfield with Howard that's a runner and a pass catcher to kind of keep people off balance. Agree or disagree?
I agree. And whether it's DeAndre Swift at number 26 or you wait until the second round and you get J.K. Dobbins or whoever, I even like Zach Moss. I'm not that crazy about Jonathan Taylor. I'm worried about his fumbling. But, look, I'll tell you, Owen, and I know that I am extremely biased on this. Third day, I wouldn't mind a look at E.J. Dallas. I just like that kid spirit. And,
yes.
And he's got some special team skills, but he's not, he's not who we're talking about here. Somebody to go with Jordan Howard, sure. I think that's almost a guarantee in the second round, and there are a lot of guys out there to choose among. Cam Akers at Florida State, so I think that they definitely end up with one of those guys. And again, as they go through free agency, it becomes more clear what they're doing with Jordan Howard at the defensive end, with Byron Jones, offensive line, and so you see the Dolphins thinking. It doesn't clear up to me what they're going to do in the draft, strangely enough. But, we know they're not going to take Okudah, right? That's about all that we know from their standpoint in the draft right now. But you see a direction that they're going with this team, and it hasn't wavered from last year. It hasn't wavered from what Greer and Flores did in the offseason, which was really, we're going to be smart about how we build this. We're not just going to throw money around. We're going to be judicious in how we give it out. I think we were all surprised that they were so aggressive in the first couple of days of free agency in acquiring guys, but they didn't just throw bad money out there. There is a building plan, and they've been consistent with that plan. So, look, so far since Flores has been here, regular season and off season, got to give the guy a thumbs up, and Chris Greer has done a great job also.
Perk, before I let you go, tell them what you're working on The Athletic, because everybody's crashing out right now, relaxing, and they may not realize The Athletic is giving you 90 days free trial so you can get all the coverage locally and nationally. But tell them what you're working on also so they can relax at home with some free coverage from The Athletic.
Yeah, well, today, as I said, I did for Joe Burrow, that the Dolphins have no shot at Joe Burrow. There's just, if I'm Cincinnati, there's no package that the Dolphins could offer me. And if there was a package, it better start with Xavier Howard along with something else. And the Dolphins better pay part of Xavier Howard's huge salary because, as we said, Cincinnati just spent a lot of money in free agency. They spent $95 million alone on DJ Reader, the defensive tackle, and Trey Waynes, the quarterback. And that's unrealistic, right? The Dolphins are not putting Xavier Howard in that trade package, so the whole topic is unrealistic, and that's what I wrote. Later this week, we're going to take a look at the whole quarterback situation and see what the Dolphins' options are, and see, are they going to zig or are they going to zag? They will do something at that quarterback position, but we'll take a deeper look into their options at the position right now. There's some free agents out there, and some of those movements have affected what will happen in the draft, and thereby affecting the Dolphins. So we'll take a whole look at the quarterback situation later this week.
All right, Perk, I can't help myself. You volleyed a shot at me. I got to slam it like they say in tennis, okay?
Let's do it.
I can't help myself. But you said that they have no shot at Joe Burrow. I got to now change my mind here. They do have a slim shot at Joe Burrow now, because if you're offering X, well, he's got domestic violence charges. That's right up Cincinnati's aisle right there, bro. They love players with baggage.
What the Mark Walton are you talking about, Big O? Come on. actually, I shouldn't say that. He was you know, I shouldn't say that. Let me just say that. But yes, I understand what you're saying there.
Follow him on Twitter.
Well, we're both bad. We're both bad individuals, though.
Hey, man, we got to find a way to laugh right now, man, because there's a lot of sad stuff going on. All right, follow him on Twitter at Chris Perk and catch his exceptional work at The Athletic. Perk, you are the best, my brother. Thank you for taking some time.
All right, Big O, you and Bill, stay safe. Keep your family safe, man. We'll do this again.
Definitely.
Stay safe, Chris.
Yeah, I'm staying safe. I got Bill about 8 feet away from my ass. That's how I stay safe. All right.